All right. So normally I do my show. I started out after the sirens and I say, all right. Welcome to another Fire Engineering Podcast, Network for Success. But I'm live from FDIC. I'm with Dave Mellen and my friend Scott McGonigal. And we're pretty excited to, I guess, just talk shop with you guys. And this is a little awkward setup. We were just commenting on that. I don't know if you guys saw or if Tammy doesn't edit it out. You'll see that we were kind of giggling. So, why do firefighters become firefighters? Because they're kids and they want to stay kids for the rest of their life but get paid for it. So we were just giggling because it's kind of funny. We're all like right on top of each other. But it's kind of cool. We got the whole FDIC backdrop here and we get to look over at the showroom. So it's pretty exciting. So real quick, I just want to, have my guys tell you a little bit about themselves. I don't have to put you on the spot or anything. So this way, you know who we're talking to. So I'll start with you, Dave. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Awesome. So Dave Mellen, I live in Kansas City in the metro. I work in a career department. I volunteer out in the rural area just to the west. And I also run Valor Fire Training. I'm here this week teaching and taking classes.
Nice.
Scott? Yes, my name is Scott McGonigal, career federal out of Letterkenny. Also a volunteer and assistant chief for Gettysburg Fire Department and currently reside in Gettysburg.
Yeah.
Out here for taking on some training.
Awesome. So talking about that, right? So we're talking about the training thing. So Dave and I are fortunate that we get to be able to teach out here. So largest cadre of instructors, people from just all facets of the fire service. They got every topic from, the women in fire to social injustice to people that have some kind of depression issue to then ladder company ops, truck company ops, engine company ops, active shooter, all the good stuff, even the EMS stuff, and great leadership classes and everything like that. So basically, the point of today's show for at least for me, my objective would just be, if you're watching this and you weren't able to come, listen, man, get here next year. We're back. I know the media and these certain outlets are going to try to give you some kind of some kind of only here at live from FDIC. This is how we do things. Oh my goodness. So anyway, with that, we're gonna have to take a break for a second. No, but seriously, guys, listen, get here. We're getting past the whole, pandemic. People aren't wearing masks. Some people are being told they have to wear masks. Whatever your opinion is, whatever you think you need to do it. With that, I'm just gonna tell you, listen, man, we're here. We're networking with people. We're attending workshops. We're communicating. It's been a long year and a half since everybody's been back here, so we need to get back. So I'm gonna hop out for a second and stop that thing from ringing, and you guys take over for a second.
So like Dave was saying, it's been kind of different, right? Showing up and, there are some people that are wearing masks and then there are other people who aren't. But we're following social distancing. We're doing all the stuff that we need to do in a global sense where we need to do it. And it's been cool. I'm really glad to be back. Obviously, we missed it last year, and now that we're back, it's kind of nice to be able to get back in the groove of it.
Yeah.
And it's different, right?
It's
but
super different.
Our world's different.
Yeah.
We're getting used to it.
It's nice actually coming back in and networking with people you haven't seen in a while, people from across the United States and some from around the world, but getting back to some normalcy.
Yeah,
training.
I agree. Well, it was nice. It's nice. If you guys haven't been out here before, there's a couple people, it's their first time ever attending FDIC, and it's a lot to take in. It's especially today's Tuesday, so tomorrow, oh man, it's just a triaxle dump truck comes and just dumps a bunch of people, and there's more people here tomorrow. And if you've never been here, you just see it's crazy to kind of take it all in and just see it. But it's a beauty in the same thing, because it kind of like just unfolds in front of you, like all these people just trying to learn as much as they can and take advantage of everything. But like you two guys were saying, with everything that's gone on in the country, it's really nice to see these familiar faces, like it's people you haven't seen, because it used to be, I'll see you in April. It used to be the saying, see you next year, see you in April. And now we're in August, and it's literally been a year and 4 months since the last show. So it's just nice to see everybody. Everybody's just genuinely saying like, hey, good to see you, because it's just been so long. So that's why if you're watching, if you're just streaming through whatever, you couldn't make it, I'm telling you, I know sometimes it gets expensive. I know that there's been these policies that have come out with, sending people on training or whatever because of the pandemic and stuff like that. Get here, try to find a way. The part of the thing that I want to talk about today was just how we've kind of gotten away from good quality training because of this pandemic. So I was just gonna like pitch to you first. Like a lot of the issues that we're running into is, we train, then the pandemic hit, and then it's like, no, you got to socially distance, and guys have to wear masks, and we can't have more than this many people in a room at the same time. We can't send guys to training. In fire service, we live in the same house. Right. You're not going to sleep next to your wife with a mask on. If you do, I guess it's okay. It's weird to me, but just in general. So can you just touch on that, the issues we ran into and why we need to get past that?
Yeah. So, it was really, really odd for me, not only being a student of the fire service, but also being an instructor. We had to rethink how we do stuff. We had to rethink everything. And questions that we never really thought we would have to ask or get answers to. When the pandemic first started, everything got shut down. And that was for a few weeks. And we were trying to figure out, okay, can we continue doing what we're doing? How are we going to do it safely? But then the questions started coming up like, okay, can we train and socially distance with masks on? What if I got a bunch of people in SCBAs and we're all in SCBAs? Do we have to socially distance? Those are all questions that come up. And so we learned, just like the general public, how we were going to navigate this. But I know within my organizations and also with the training company, we didn't want to stop training. And our focus was, how can we make it so that it's safe, but we can continue to train, whether it was disinfecting equipment, whether it was social distancing, and our rules changed kind of as the general rules changed. So it was
such as the fire service.
Yeah.
It's a situational deviation thing.
Yeah, it's just adapt and overcome. Yeah. And so, but we there was only a short period of time where we stopped training. And I think we all understood how detrimental that was going to be.
I was just going to ask, how long did it take you to adapt from that once everything came out?
I would say probably less than a month.
That's
awesome.
I mean,
it was less than a month.
Actually, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. How long did it take you guys?
Couple months, but then we started relying on our CDC programs that we have, and also between the state of Pennsylvania with their online EMT Con Ed, and not a plug in a way, but FDIC with the fire academy that started developing in that end. So some guys will start utilizing that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, the fire academy is huge. I keep getting away. Hey, listen, anybody that's listening to this show or watching this, that's listened to my shows and knows who I am, this is par for the course. All right. So it just is what it is. But anyway, and I'm sure that people are messaging me right now and blowing up my phone on purpose because they see it live streaming. But anyway,
welcome.
Welcome. If they're not doing it, that means they don't like you. Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, you plug the fire academy. So, fire engineering just put together this thing, the fire academy, right? And it couldn't have come at such a better time simply because of what we're talking about. Like, it's impressive that your guys, it only took like a month to kind of
awesome.
Reset themselves. In reality, we work together, Scott and I, and we're still kind of trying to climb back out of it because working for the federal government is a different animal. So we have like certain regulations, especially with the change in administration and everything that, you kind of answer to a higher power, quite literally. So there's certain things we could or couldn't do that we should have been doing in the fire service. But more importantly, I don't want to say online training is the tool. Okay. That's not what I'm talking about here. Because practical training is exactly it. All right. We have to train. Yeah. We have to train. Everything we do as firefighters is a physical job. So we have to be able to have that muscle memory of what we do. However, just because something like this, like the pandemic or whatever is going on, and we have to think that we have to put this pause button on training, there's other outlets out there, like the fire academy, and there's other online courses that guys should go through just to engage their brain. And then more importantly, if you're not, on one of these online outlets, what's better than the kitchen table? Yep. One guy starts telling a story, especially if it's a senior guy, and then everybody starts chiming in, and you know why? Because your brain starts working, and then you're starting to think, well, hey, one time I did this, and believe it or not, that's actually developmental training, because you're unhinging something in your brain to start speaking about it. So you start thinking it, you start analyzing it, so it's just, that was to me, it was kind of the beauty of for most part, because you see what guys using the pandemic as a crutch to to just stay lazy.
Yeah.
But I digress. No, but like, seriously, it's like the beauty about the fire services is we adapted and overcame. It's just in our nature, it's just a situational deviation. So it's like, well, hey, we can't physically train with each other, but let's have a conversation about something that's going on with the job, or hey, what happens if we get a fire at this building, and all of a sudden guys start just talking. So it was just something that I admired the past year and a half of this craziness that's been going on in the fire service. So,
and with this technology, none of that's going away either.
No,
It's going to be ingrained with
growing.
our normal physical training
Yeah.
for years to come.
Well, and those the people that weren't accustomed to Zoom or hadn't done
yeah.
Zoom meetings or Zoom trainings, now they are. And
Some of them are still trying to figure it out.
Absolutely.
A year and a half later. So,
yeah, absolutely. But I
Yeah.
mean, it was just things that it forced us to kind of think outside the box. And there's some good things that came out of it, and there's some bad things.
Absolutely.
Right.
yeah, well, yeah,
you don't know it until you try it and then learn from
Right.
it and adapt.
Yep. And you found what worked, and you threw away what didn't.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's and then you're naming some of them, like Zoom and Microsoft Teams and all these things that that were just ways for us to communicate and network with each other. And whether you were listening to a podcast or you were physically logged in and seeing somebody doing what we're doing right now, it just, there's outlets out there, tap into them. However, I caution you, tap into these outlets, like Scott was saying, they're becoming the new norm, and that's good. And we're going to find a way to implement and integrate them into what we do as far as our physicality of our job. But don't get away from the practical sense of it. The online stuff, it's always been that part of that style of training has always been there. We just didn't use the internet before. We read books, and books are great. We should continue. I like reading books. I mean, I guess I'm an old soul for a young guy. I don't really like reading stuff on a tablet. I actually physically like to read a book. But keep that same mindset. You're doing your online training, you're tapping into these resources, but then you're taking some of that and marrying it into what your practicality stuff should be, how it's applicable to your mission, et cetera. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
how many years we've done the DVDs, reading, then go out and actually go through
Yeah.
the motion and actually practice.
they had the CD-ROM
ROMs,
stuff
all
and
that
everything.
stuff,
That CD-ROM.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
They did. Yeah.
Well, floppy
My
disk?
computer
Floppy
doesn't
disk?
even- yeah,
Floppy disk. Yeah. Yeah, it was what was it? Oregon Trail. That was a big
Yep.
one.
Right?
Oh,
Oh,
big
always
one.
good.
Big
Oregon.
one. On the old Macintosh.
Yeah.
You've gotten Listeria.
Sorry, guys. That's too funny. No, but I just I mostly wanted to talk about that. It's just, it's cool. Listen, live from FDIC. So obviously, if you're watching this, you're probably not here, like I said before. But the beauty of fire engineering, the beauty of FDIC, and the beauty of just the future that we live in is that stuff like this can come to you. So my advice is just find ways to continue to tap into whatever it is that we got going on here. But if you can physically come, if you didn't come this year because of whatever, if you couldn't swing it, if your department put a new policy together because of the pandemic, if you were scared because of the pandemic, I respect all this stuff. I'm sure everybody here respects all that stuff. But listen, there's nothing better than us being here. Like, it's been, like I said, was it 18 months, 17 months, whatever, since we were all here, so it's really nice to see all those faces, to run into everybody. I can't wait till tomorrow morning when you get Bobby's just going to get everybody jacked up with them passionate speeches that he gives, and so it's a whole nother animal physically being here. And I'm glad to be back. I'm always honored to be here. I'm glad to, like last night, we went out, we ran into each other, and you just see everybody, you know what I mean, guys? I mean, and you just,
It's like a pause, a reset, come back.
that's the beauty of it. Exactly. It just carried right over. It's like, it's been that long. It's like, it didn't even leave it, so it's just nice. Like, I haven't seen Frank physically since the last FDIC. I talk to Frank all the time. Richie, I talk to him all the time. But when I saw him, how I spotted him was the suit. I'm looking for a suit. I'm like, oh, Frank's always in a suit. So let me find a suit, and sure enough, there he was, and it was just beautiful to see him and everybody, just.
Yeah, it really, and somebody asked me before I came here this year, they said, what's it like when you go? Like, I know it's been a while, but what's it like? And I said, it's like a home away from home. When you walk in and you go visit, like maybe your family has a condo or, whatever it is. You walk in and it's like, man, I haven't been here for a while. And it smells familiar. You see people that you haven't seen for a while. And it's a home away from home. And that's why I love coming back. And that's why I'm, honored to be able to come back as well. just because it really is just a home away from home.
Absolutely.
It gets comfortable,
Yeah, it's the people make you feel that way. It's
From
nice.
from a student aspect of it, I'm honored you guys are able to come out here and teach and stuff. But
No,
yeah,
that's cool, man.
like you said, just coming to another firehouse for me, just walking in, we're joking around, messing around like it was just yesterday that we were hanging out. So, and even for new guys like me and you meeting this first time there, it's like we've been hanging out for
I
years.
was busting your chops within like 5
But
minutes.
that's the whole that's the fire
That's
service.
the fire
That's
service.
the fire
That's the
service,
beauty of the fire service, and the
It
people
brings
that,
everyone together.
yeah, and the people that get here, like, listen, there's big name people. Like I said, there's the best in the business comes to FDIC. It's superior to a lot of the other, and I'm not knocking them, but it's just superior to a lot of the other conferences. But for the most part, these guys, they're the same. They're, you know what I mean? Like they're a firefighter. Just talk to them, engage with them. They're walking down the hall. They want to be spoken to. They'll shoot the crap with you. Let me be political so Bobby doesn't get mad at me. But no, seriously, like, I don't know, man. I don't mean to, I always say it every year that I'm here. It's very surreal to me. It was a dream. He knows I've known, Scott for years, and it was always like the end goal was like make it to FDIC, and now that I've been doing it for a few years, I'm just like, it's like a reset button, like it just really is, like, for yourself. Like, it's a reset button for everybody, but now more than ever is it, like, really because of us being in that kind of rut with the whole COVID thing. And it's like this is awesome reset button. Like, we're here, we get to see everybody. And I was sitting in a Villos class before, you were in there, it's just, and Anthony started reading Ed Flood's thing at the end, and it was just beautiful, and you could see Anthony getting teary eyed. Yeah. It was just beautiful to be kind of part of it again. Like this huge thing that we get to celebrate every year, So I don't know. I'm excited.
I have to argue with that from a friend standpoint when you said this is your end goal. I mean, this isn't your end goal. This is you got here now. You're developing off that, books to come, and whatever else, and spreading the word out, teaching to other people.
Yeah, that is and that's the biggest thing is the stage that we get. Again, social media, this stuff's great, but the stage, the FDIC stage, having that opportunity to share your message, it's just huge. It really is. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's, like yesterday, I mentioned it in my class, and you and I were actually talking about it at dinner. Actually, all three of us were talking about it. But, in my lecture, the pre-conference workshop that I did, I learned just as much from the students as they did from what I was presenting. And so that interaction you don't normally get at some of the other places. And so, having that ability to sit there and compare notes and, okay, how are we doing it on the West Coast? How are we doing it on the East Coast? How does it, the Midwest, we're kind of a weird, quirky area where we get the best of both worlds. But, the way that I'm doing it, some people hadn't seen before, and the way that they're doing it was new to me. And so we were able to compare those notes, and it's really, really cool from a student and an instructor perspective.
Yeah.
Whereas you should always be learning from teacher to teacher, from teacher to student, or student from
Absolutely.
teacher.
Yeah. I learned that from Richie, actually, and Bobby. That he'll tell you that you learn more about. So if you're a student, you learn a ton because you're attending this workshop, right? Yep. But you learn not just from the instructor, but the engagement, the input from the audience as people start throwing some stuff out there, kind of like whose line is it anyway? You know what I mean? Like people just start randomly throwing stuff, and then you touch on that, and it kind of goes off the subject itself. But no, I remember Bobby saying, these people, like, they love to be approached. They love to have people come and talk to them and all that good stuff. And, Scott will tell you that the first year that we got to see Bobby present, we were attending a workshop down in Charleston, West Virginia. And he was given he gave his rendition of the Duty, Honor, Country speech. And he
chills down your spine.
Oh my God, dude, it was awesome. Yeah, I know, not to knock General MacArthur, but I mean, come on, bro. Like,
right up there.
I'm pretty sure he blew him out of the water, And I was at West Point, and like, not that I saw MacArthur because he was dead for like 40 years or 50 years before I got to West Point. But you know what I mean? Like General MacArthur's a big deal, and to hear Bobby give it, it's like, wow, man. Wow.
I mean, me and him were amped. I'm right. All right, wait, we're on vacation right now. Can't go anywhere and do anything.
So I was nervous to approach him, and I kind of lingered around him, like that awkward linger you do, and then I finally just engaged with him, and Bobby's very personable. He's always stayed in touch with me. He's always been very forthcoming with me. So it's just I tell people that, just speaking for myself, I've always wanted to present. I've always wanted to instruct. I always wanted to try to be able to pass on a message and do this networking thing that we do and meet all these great people that you get to meet through this. So I have a ton of people that I owe a debt of gratitude to for that. But, like Bobby's one of those people, like, here I am, I'm here, we're here, and it's just, it's really cool to be part of it. And that's why I say to people, like, if you're somebody that's aspiring to get out here to teach, talk to your instructor, get to know them, stay in touch with them. And if you have something that's worth it, and I stress on that, let me be Jersey real quick and remove my filter and tell you, don't go off of buzzwords. Nobody likes these fugazi people that come out there with these fake things. And, you saw something that was sexy and you saw, this is what the buzzword is. I'm going to put together a class on that. Nobody wants that. Nobody, seriously, firefighters can sniff that right out. It's ingenuine. If you have something that's real, near and dear to you, and you're a subject matter expert for it, and you're passionate about it, then by all means, put together the program and keep pushing that content to try to spread that message, because the sky's the limit. We need to be able to spread the message. That's the point of teaching in the fire service. That's the point in the fire service, point in networking. Like Dave was saying, like he's in that mix of being able to get East Coast and West Coast things. That's the same as coming to these type of shows and attending the classes and reading the stuff on fire engineering or reading the magazine, whatever, is gaining all that information and then just trying to regurgitate it, spreading the knowledge. So I don't know. That's all I got. Sorry. Little soapbox.
It was a good soapbox. I like that. I like that. It was good.
It was. Thanks.
Oh,
You're welcome.
But you guys aren't going to talk now?
What?
It was good. That was good. I mean,
What's
what
left?
else
What's
you got?
left to talk
All
about?
right,
What do we got left here?
There, you almost hit it there. All right, time to go.
Nah, so
Oh,
what do
you
you guys want to talk about? We'll talk about anything. Let's talk shop, man. What do you want to talk about?
Where do you see the fire service going with
Oh,
this
there you
COVID
go.
stuff?
Good. That's a
I
great
mean,
question.
Where do you see it going?
Yeah. So I was actually just having this discussion with somebody the other day. We're starting to see a lot more technology, I think, in the last 5 years.
Absolutely.
That is coming out in different ways, right? Like they always had technology. I mean, radios
Hey.
been around, they're progressing there. But we're starting to see new technology with safety.
Mhm.
We're starting to see new technology with mobile data
Mhm.
and response information. And so it's been really cool to watch for like the last 5 years. I feel like there's a lot of momentum that has started moving to the point where, now we're even getting better view inside of burning buildings. We're getting better
Absolutely.
information before we get on scene.
Mm.
And I know that that's hard for some people. Like I find myself kind of techie, but I know a lot of people that still really struggle with the technology side. And I think it's coming now more than ever.
So that's
What
didn't know
do you
what
see
our
as far
Facebook
as the
ad was.
downfall in any of that technology? Something.
I and again, at the sake of being a broken record, I mean,
Yeah.
I say this all the time. When I got into the fire service, a thermal imaging camera was mounted to a helmet and it was carried on the BC rig because we only had one of them, right?
Yeah.
And so,
expensive.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't like everybody had one or there was one on every truck. And so the whole thing of like, don't depend on the tick. Right. I understand that. But that's when the batteries lasted 15 minutes. If you were lucky.
Mhm.
Now we have thermal imagers where the batteries last 7, 8, 10 hours.
Yeah.
And so, I find
And they're very
myself,
clear.
yeah.
The images are a lot clearer.
Yeah. And so, I want to depend on it a little bit more, but I worry that people are going to become super, super dependent and they're going to forget how to do it
Agreed.
the old fashioned way.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
that
agree.
just comes with the training aspect of it too, and working that in
Absolutely.
with that tick and then going through the motions and
Yeah.
all that. My thing is the drone technology, just how advanced that's getting now. You just throw it up in the air and let the instant
Oh
command do the
man,
full
dude, right?
360.
Yeah, I mean,
have
literally,
whole
you get a
everything, you don't have to worry
360. You
about
get the top of the building.
Yep.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. That is.
Yep.
Not everybody's gonna have one, but it is
No, I
pretty
mean,
cool.
there's
if you
grants
think
out
about
there
it.
that's going on, and
Yeah.
hopefully people take advantage of it.
Yeah. And there's some nerd that's gonna love that. Like he'll just be the guy. You know what I mean? Like he'll just be the guy. Like, hey,
fire,
you're not great at pulling hose anymore, but here's this joystick. Go fly the drone. You know what I mean? Like
Thanks,
there's a
man.
job for everybody in the
Yeah.
fire service. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'll find something for you to do. You
Absolutely.
can operate the drone.
Yeah. And, our local law enforcement agencies, both, they have drones and they have specific drone operators and they are very good at what they do.
Oh yeah.
And so it's been cool because, we work well enough with them that there's a shared resource there. But yeah, I mean, if we're running a call and they think we need it, man, that thing's in the air before we ever even get
That's
there.
awesome.
And
That
they're
is really
already
cool.
doing
Especially
stuff.
with the range, and most likely they can do it from wherever they're at and send the drone wherever. to the
Yeah, that is
location.
really cool.
Yeah, so it's really cool. But no, I mean, I think that's kind of the biggest thing that I'm seeing right now.
But just to piggyback off of it, and you had said this, so we're talking about that, that was a great question. So thanks for keeping the show going.
Contributing.
Yeah, thank you for your contribution. No, but all seriousness, like you said, I like that you said don't heavily rely on it. So we have all these great things, like Andy Starnes has that tech class, and it's phenomenal. But Andy has that way of marrying where you don't just use it as the crutch. You use it for what it's designed for. And that's one of the things that I'm just piggybacking off what you said, is to caution people is, there's all this great technology out there. One, we need to know how to use it, but then we also need to know when to use it. We can't dismiss our bread and butter. At the end of the day, our bread and butter is to protect lives and property and put the fire out if there's a fire, mitigate the emergency. And how do we do that? With our hands and with our legs and with our brains, and then we get to throw all the other tools in there that we get to use. But at the end of the day, we're the machine that mitigates the emergency. So we need to continue to not talk ourselves out of business. And then soon enough, we start fighting fires with the guy that can't pull hose, operating a joystick. Like I'm saying,
Bro, it's already happened.
I
I saw the robot.
And I don't want to upset anybody that's designing technology, because that's great. Like the Tesla car is awesome. I'm never going to buy one. I like burning gas. Sorry, but it's great. It's great in theory. What an awesome idea. But that just is. Let's not talk ourselves out of business. Like we still get done what we need to get done the old school way. We just have all these extra tools in our toolbox that we can now use, so instead of just using the same Craftsman wrench that we were always using, now we have 75 different type of wrenches that we can use that will apply to whatever job. But at the end of the day, we still put the fire out, so don't completely heavily rely on the technology. Implement the technology, marry it into what we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because again, I did the soapbox moment.
It was a
It
good
was
one.
good.
Got
It was a good
everybody
one.
nervous.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
I'm not
This is
nervous.
how I
Just
speak.
let it go.
So what do you, I'll ask you a question. So what are you looking most forward to for the rest of the week?
No, it's a great question. I'm nervous for tomorrow. Not trying to plug my class, it's a new class for me. I've done the same class a few times already, so this one's a new one, and it's very raw. It's very gut check. I'm nervous how it's going to be received, because it's not my typical where I instruct you. I'm kind of just telling you, like, hey, you got into this business for a reason.
The Dave McGlynn way.
Yeah, I am. I really am. And sometimes that's off-putting to people. It just is what it is. No, but I am. I think what I'm looking forward to is just being here. It's been so long. This is like, I just love coming here, man. I love seeing them. Like, even now that like we're peers with these people, like, I don't want to say like I get starstruck, because that's such a stupid term. I hate that term. And plus I don't want to inflame anybody's ego that doesn't need it any more than it already is. But I just do, like, I enjoy, like, you walk in the speaker room and you just see some of those guys that you admired for the past 20 years, and you're just like, man, like I get to sit next to this guy and kind of talk shop, So just that piece of it, meeting new faces, building new relationships. We've been friends on social media for a while, and this is like the first time we're hanging out, so I know I'm going to be friends with you forever.
Right,
now,
right.
That's the beauty of the thing. And that's what I'm looking forward to, is just all the new friendships and relationships I'm going to make, all the people I'm going to network with, and just seeing everybody, seeing Bobby. I haven't gotten to see him yet, so I can't wait to see him. But Ginger, Diane, just seeing all of them, it's just beautiful to, like you said earlier, it's like a second family kind of thing. It's like a second home kind of thing. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is just kind of filling that gap that's like a year and a half that I haven't had.
Yeah. Well, and I just want to stop you for 1 second, because I'm going to respectfully disagree with you, because you're a bigger dude than me. And so I don't want you to like find me in the parking lot later.
No, they wouldn't find you.
But no, like, you were talking about, like, you want to shy away from using the word starstruck. And I think that's exactly what it is, though, because there's the humility of where you and I have had discussions, and I know we're on the same page. And I know we were talking about it the other night. I walk in, I routinely go to conferences just like this one. And at this one specifically, I get to interact with people that I've looked up to for my entire career. And so I am always humbled, and just, I find myself in so many situations where I look around and I'm like, how did I end up here? How am I sitting at this
amen.
table?
I feel the same way.
Right. Like, and so it's not necessarily, I don't want to say, it is starstruck, but it's more of just a humbled. You're kind of
an ad hoc like experience.
Yeah.
You're taken back.
And who knows, maybe someday in 15, 20 years, I'm going to be walking through the hallway like,
Somebody
oh yeah, what's up, man? How's it going?
Yeah.
Like not a care in the world, but
Yeah.
like, and every year that I've been coming here and every year that I've been a part of this, there's still times that I find myself doing the hi, how are you?
No, I agree.
So yeah,
I agree. What about you?
In regards to
The week.
This
Yeah,
whole
the rest of the
experience.
week, what are you looking for?
Nah, for me, and we talked about this before, is the networking, being new people or the people I haven't seen in a while, and just the education aspect of behind, seeing what's out, what's new, what's happening, the leadership part of it too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And when you said new stuff, it kind of made me laugh because there is nowhere in the world. Well, I shouldn't say that. There is nowhere in this country where more new stuff gets released in one physical spot.
Man.
Right. And so that's the one thing that I love the education side. I love being a student. I love going in. But the one thing that I'm a geek, I'm a nerd. And so I love going out onto the floor.
Yeah,
when
there's a lot of innovative
Put your
technology.
hands on everything and see what.
Yeah, and you get
I
to
agree.
see it. Like,
you need to go to the Innovation Hub down at Lucas Oil Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Okay, cool.
Wednesdays and Thursdays,
Wednesdays
the
and
Innovation
Thursdays.
Hub. See,
All right,
now
hey,
I know,
nice plug.
and my heart will be,
Yeah.
my heart will be complete.
Hey,
But yeah, there's just so much cool stuff from like apparatus innovations to turnout gear materials or just things that they're coming out with that most people are like, oh yeah, cool, do I get a koozie? And I'm just like, okay,
I need another pen.
Yeah.
Five more pens. I need 6 more.
Hold on a second, can you say those specs one more time?
Yeah.
But
Like
yeah.
Michael Scott in that episode where they go on the conference and he's
Yep.
like swag stuff we all get, and he's like wearing like the Microsoft Word like polo the next day. Yeah.
So, but no, that's what I'm looking forward to is the innovations and seeing the new stuff and seeing where the future of it is going to go.
Yeah. No, I agree. That is true. Here's in this business, here is where you're going to see all that unfold. Just see like you said, just these great innovations. Yeah, the evolution of it.
Yeah.
I'm young in my fire service career. I've only been doing this 20 years, and it's like from where I started to where it's at now. I remember past devices when I first started, you clipped it on that little loop thing or whatever. Yeah.
Waiting it
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
I got it,
the
right?
tech-
We're
the tech
good.
was like holding one of these monitors in your hand
Yeah.
with a handle on it.
Yeah.
You're like, how cool is this? I can put
Now
my
I
hand
got
on the
it-
wall and you
got
can
it
still
inside my
see it a couple
mask and-
seconds later. Yeah, now it's in my mask.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
feel like the Predator sometimes. Oh man. No, but you're right, man. That's true. There's a lot of great innovation that's coming out, and you get to see it all. Yeah, and the swag thing, yeah. Like I know there's people that do it, so we're not making fun of you, but we kind of are. No, seriously, man. I mean, take what you listen. They give this stuff away for free for a reason. It's a nice little piece of like it just reminds you were here. It's something that you can kind of take home.
Or two kids.
But don't just come with your 7 pagers and your 15 patches and and your 2 book bags and everything. Take it all in, man. Obviously you're a fireman if you're here, or firefighter, so you don't need to wear a billboard that says that you're a firefighter, because we already know, because we're at the fire department instructors conference. But take it all in. Stop in the showroom, talk to everybody, see the new technology, go to different classrooms, pop into different classrooms. I never get mad. I know some guys they get upset, like, oh, I had a couple walkouts. Like, I don't know, all these conferences I've gone to, like I pop in and out.
Yeah.
It's nothing against the instructor. I mean, if I really
Trying to take it all in.
yeah, like you're such a limited amount of time. I want to pop in your class, and then I'm going to go to this guy's class, and I'm going to go to that guy's class, So I never get offended when somebody hangs out for a minute and then they go somewhere else. I kind of root them on for it. I'm like, yeah, take it all in, take what you can get, So just do that. Take it all in.
Yeah, it's good.
Another
Great stuff.
soapbox moment. I'm just done. I hope my phone goes off again. All right.
I do have one comment from Facebook.
Oh boy, was it about the
Eric
phone?
Theo
Okay.
is saying, where's the hot sauce?
Where's the
Where's
hot
the hot
sauce?
sauce? Oh,
Is this for me?
So, no,
It's for you.
this is
Okay,
for
good.
me.
I
All
was gonna say, I don't know.
So
Where's the hot
it's a shameless plug, right? So
Where's the hot sauce?
So Valor Fire Training does a thing called the Hot Seat. We interview influential firefighters and instructors from across the country. They eat progressively hotter hot wings. It's very similar to another show that's on YouTube. And the whole root of it kind of came from, we were in the firehouse watching the videos of the other show. And somebody was like, man, that would be really cool if the fire service did that. but who would be dumb enough to do it? And I was like,
I'll do
this
it.
guy, this guy would love to do that. And anybody that knows me knows that I don't do hot sauce.
Neither
Like
do I.
that's not my
Neither do I.
thing, right? But it's great entertainment. And so to Eric's question, we are going to be doing a episode of the hot seat here somewhere at FDIC. We don't know where or when.
I'm not
gonna-
doing it. I'm not doing it.
You don't want to do it?
No.
He wants to.
Come on, man. I think you do.
I get real bad indigestion as it is.
So you know, we got to be careful. It can't be like before hot class. It can't be before
No
like the
pun
day.
intended.
Yeah, like there's-
Can't read for
there's
can't have hot
certain
sauce
rules.
right before a hot class.
But yes, there is going to be an episode, and we're going to collaborate with a couple different instructors, and it should be awesome. So Eric, thanks for that question.
All right. Well, you guys have anything else? I'm gonna probably wrap it up.
No, I appreciate having us on.
I appreciate you guys being on. Thanks. I appreciate you having us on. And Pete, you're not here, so we miss you and we love you. And you're soaking up the Jersey Shore. Whatever. You better be down Point Pleasant, bro, because that's the only one that's good. Don't be going anywhere else. But anyway, listen. Sorry about the phone. You know, just is what it is. But get here next year if you're watching this and you're not here. Love yous and thanks for tuning in. Dave McGlynn, Fire Engineering, FDIC, Dave Mellen, and Scott McGonigal. Bye.